Good morning, community. On behalf of Operation Rock, this beautiful Monday morning, I am Clayton here with another live podcast discussing enablers and the people who enable domestic violence and criminal offenders to continue the madness that they inflict on their victims. The reason for this broadcast today, excuse me, people, I got to clean off my studio. Is like insane because I've been so busy filing paperwork and lawsuits against my offender. Um, the reason that I picked this topic today, people, is I think it's something that I haven't really discussed. And I think it's something that should be discussed more. The fact of how people seem to, people are made to suffer because of the personal opinions and the personal, like I would say, relationships that criminals may have with enablers. Because someone may love this person, they may be their family or be romantically attracted to them or be their best friend. These enablers will help a criminal even though they know this criminal is committing a crime, because the truth of the matter is it's more important to them to clear the person that they care about than justice and equality. People speak about justice and equality, but the truth of the matter is the average person really doesn't give a damn about justice and equality. They care more about their own sense of justice and equality. They care about the things that they're doing for themselves that kind of benefit them and benefit the people around them. And it's unfortunate because by doing that, they harm other people who may just truly want their peace and may be good people like myself. I have an ex-girlfriend, unfortunately, who has been stalking the hell out of me for almost 2.5 years. I've showed definitive proof, people, that this woman is lying. And some people, like I've spoken to people in the past who told me that originally they didn't understand why it was going on. People, I don't understand why it's going on. I don't understand. People, I do not understand why this woman is doing all of the sick, crazy shit she's doing to me. But people, you know something? I don't have a choice in the matter. Because if I sit back and I don't do anything, then people, I'm going to get run the hell over. And I can show you that by the fact that I've been falsely arrested for things that I've never done, for things that didn't even happen in the state of New York, because my ex is so connected to the bigotry and racism on Staten Island that they arrested me for a case that was won in another state to which the victim of Staten Island was convicted. People, domestic violence and civil rights is real. And what these law enforcement systems will do now is they will mask their racism and bigotry, sexism and favoritism to violate the rights of minority men. My live cast today, people, I am going to discuss the people who randomly enable offenders. People, I got people all throughout my life right now. You would never believe it. People, I'm being contacted by random people I've never met in my life asking me to help Francina. People, get the fuck out of here, yo. This girl is out of her mind. But these people are truly like, why can't I blow this up? That's really weird. I can't make the screen bigger. How the hell do you do that? I always thought it was an option on Facebook where you could make something like expanded. I don't want to video call this person. I don't want to minimize the chat. I'm actually trying to make the chat bigger, but people, it's not working for me today. So what that's about, I don't know, but we'll figure it out in a second. God is good. Just bear with me. So I'm trying to open up my chat, people, because I want to show you how I am being contacted by people. Now, allegedly, I got contacted by, is this it? I can't bring up the damn screen, people. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's doing it either, but I can't honestly bring up the screen. Now, it just took me to freaking Netflix. I don't know what's up with this. But, again, God is good. This is the devil, people, because we're going to show this today. So I'm being randomly contacted by people who are telling me that I need their support and I need their help. Now, you would think that people were wise enough to respect the fact that, this guy must really be going through it, because he's been arrested multiple times and he's never done the things that he's been accused of. People, it's sad how little compassion that our own minority people have for people who this happens to. People, the truth of the matter is no one really cares, people, because they only care about the person they love. People, I have been falsely arrested for the lies of a woman who I have proven 100% lied on me. And I am being totally harassed by the Staten Island District Attorney's Office, who knows my offender lied on me. And I showed an audience of thousands of people the truth from one of the head executives of that office. But people, yet still, I have women contacting me online telling me I need to let this go. Of course I would need to let this go, because the people who are contacting me are people who know Francina. People, everyone who has been in my DM is someone who's from Staten Island I've never met before. And I check the connections by looking through their history, people, and they're members of Mount Sinai Church, or there's somebody who went to Wagner or Curtis High School. See, people, the truth of the matter is my ex knows a bunch of people on Staten Island, and the people she knows people on Staten Island. So because these people have chosen to close the blinds of the truth, they don't want to look at the actual truth that's going on here. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I didn't ask this girl to make over a dozen YouTube videos and Instagram videos where she tells the public that she was dating a diagnosed schizophrenic. Now, the truth is she wasn't dating a diagnosed schizophrenic. What she did was steal the medical records of her ex-boyfriend's father, who he doesn't even talk to try to convince people that she was in a bad situation by using records that didn't even belong to her ex. Now, people, that is a federal crime. But because of the racism and bigotry of Staten Island, this woman has not been charged. People, no one told this woman to violate a court order and continue to contact a child she is listed to stay the fuck away from. But people, this girl is so crazy. Guess what? She did it anyway. And no one can see anything wrong with what she's doing. People, this woman has petitioned a court 15 times for visitation rights to a dog with a man she claims she's afraid of in this litigation abusing her. People, but nobody thinks anything's wrong with that. People, there's something really wrong with the fact that this girl is doing all of this. And the fact that no one chooses to accept it is what the real problem is. See, enablers, people, are dangerous. Enablers are the gas that fuel crazy. People who sit back and try to defend these people that are wrong because they lack the courage, the integrity, or the strength just to tell them, hey, listen, you're wrong. You need to stop. Those people are just as criminally liable as the offenders. So people, I want to begin to lobby for the people who help these crazy people, the people who are going to courts and lying, the people who go to precincts and lie for them, because people, this is the problem with domestic violence. The system of domestic violence is so tainted because of the lack of integrity by victims in domestic violence, women. And I know a bunch of people are going to say, no, this guy's attacking women. People, no, I'm not. People, I'm telling you the truth. 80, I would say 70% of physical domestic violence claims filed by women are false. Women lie on men and say women him, and men do it too. Don't get me wrong. Men lie on women to get women arrested, people, and it's far more common than you expect. But the majority of the time it is women. Women understand the mechanisms of domestic violence. Even a woman who has never, ever been in a domestic situation, within a matter of weeks, she's going to know everything she can do to destroy a man with that order. Because see, people, a domestic violence order, is an ex parte order. That means it's an order where they need absolutely no proof and they don't need a victim to appear to get that order before a judge. So a statement, a lie, a complete fabrication is enough to get a woman an order of protection that literally on a word in front of a cop without any investigation has the right to jam that man up and mess that man's up life. And the inverse is said for women also. Ladies and gentlemen, that is wrong. No one should be given the power without credible evidence to have someone falsely arrested for something they never did. No one should be given that power. That's a power that should be left to law enforcement, who in the capacity to do their job, discover that a crime or an offense has been committed and take those responsibilities to arrest that offender. People, law enforcement and legislation is wrong and empowering these women with basically free reign to have people arrested. Because of this, this is why I have suffered for the last 2 years. Because an offender who is a proven liar, who is abusing domestic violence laws in favor of women, keep lying, and a racist, bigot, biased, and sexist community to keep the cover of their own corruption in place are using this woman as a puppet. Like I've said, audience, my problem is not my offender, Francina Evans. My problem is the corrupt executives and officials on Staten Island, the members of Safe Horizon, the members of the Staten Island District Attorney's Office, prosecutors and advocates alike who are supposed to protect the true victims. People, Clayton Howard is a true victim, despite the fact of what anyone thinks. Clayton Howard went to a trial that was 2 months long, and after a 2-month trial, Francina Evans was convicted by a judge Clayton Howard had never met before for the crimes that Clayton Howard put on paper, because Clayton Howard was able to definitively prove with audio tapes of Francina admitting what he was saying, that Francina Evans was a pathological liar. People, when is this going to stop? Enablers, get a life. Stop enabling, stop being the gas for people like Francina Evans who are going to keep harassing the victim because they're mad they got convicted. The only thing you're going to do is end up in jail just like her. For the people who are in my DMs, get out my DMs, dude. This is not going to to stop until this woman, till she stops filing false reports, so she stops lying, saying I abused her, till she literally goes about her damn life and stops pretending to be a victim of domestic violence that she never was. At least not with me. People, Francina Evans was never abused. She was never abused, people. That's why she's on tape admitting she was never abused. And I'm sorry for the people who want to believe that this black man hit her, even though she's on tape admitting that this black man never hit her and that her mother and her grandmother are crazy, pathological liars who were stalking her ex-boyfriend, and that's why she got dumped. I'm sorry you all believe she's so beautiful she can't get dumped, but people, she ain't perfect. She's an old-ass jalopy with a fresh coat of paint. People, she's rotten to the core. She lies to her teeth. What good woman of impeccable character would steal the domestic violence of a dead records of a dead woman she claims is her mentor to lie on her son? People, that's what Francina Evans did. She claims that my mother, the late Reverend Maggie Howard, was her mentor. Then people, why did she steal the medical records of Reverend Howard to lie on her son, to tell people that her son abused her? People, who loves a woman who does that? Not this woman. People, help me stop Francina Evans, because the more you ignore what's going on, you empower her and the people who are enabling her to keep coming after me. People, anyone out there who knows the truth, who truly had a love for me and my family, people, there's no way you can't see that this girl is lying. Clayton Howard is fighting so hard because Clayton Howard is fighting alone. Because Clayton Howard doesn't come from a family of fighters. Clayton Howard comes from a family, unfortunately, that is fake and has always been petty. So my family has never stood together when it was time to fight. The only one in my family who stood up for anybody in the family who something was done wrong to is the person who's speaking right before you. And this is not an affront to my uncles, aunts, to anybody. They all know that I'm the one you don't tell something happened to you, because Clayton gonna hold you down. Why is there no one in Clayton's family who comes hold him down? See, that's my biggest problem, people. Is my offender has family and friends of people who love her and who believe that she didn't do this, even though there's tapes that she did it. And that's the worst type of offense possible, people. That is the worst type of enemy you can face, when you have an enemy with an army of people that don't care they wronged you. They only want that person to be good. People, this is not about right and wrong. This is about the evil people who enable Francina Evans to keep coming after me, even though there is definitive evidence she did it. People, when is this going to stop? I ask again, people, help me fight injustice and corruption on Staten Island. Help me fight the injustice and corruption that is festering this entire situation by the people who have been enabling this girl to keep coming after me. Enablers, stay out of my DM, stay out of my life. If you truly want to help Francina Evans, what you should do is tell her to stop stealing the medical records of her ex-boyfriend's father, stop stealing the domestic violence record of his mother, who she claims was her mentor and she loved so much, and stop going after his only child because he doesn't want anything to do with her, and go live her fucking life. Excuse my language, people, but sometimes profanity is necessary. People, all she has to do is go live her life, and everybody will be happy. Stop filing false reports. Go about your life. You're never going to get the order of protection off of you, because the truth is the order of protection is valid because you're a psycho. You need to stop. People, when is justice going to be served here? This woman stole the medical records, the domestic violence records of a dead woman, and the medical records of my father. I can guarantee you that if I found the domestic violence records of Laura Owens, her mother, and started posting them to social media, editing out the name to make it look like it was Francina Evans and another boyfriend, people, the cops would have been at my house the day after they discovered that. Why is Francina Evans still on the street? Why is she still on the street when she is in possession of a transcript from my father from 20 years ago that she edited to put online to make people think it was me? People, how is this girl still in front of the Staten Island's DA's office, having just been arrested for doing something like that? How are they still trying to advocate this girl as a fucking crime victim? People, this week, we're going to get to the bottom of this. Staten Island is highly corrupt, and Clayton Howard is going to stop them by any means necessary, people. That's the model that we are following this week. People, Staten Island is corrupt. Help me fight the corruption in the bigot and racist office that is within Staten Island, controlled by favoritists and sexists who don't value justice and true victim rights. They value their ambitions, and they value their personal relationship with offenders. People, that office is corrupt, and I'm going to do everything in my power to my last breath to expose them. On behalf of my late mother, who was about the truth, people, I continue to tell the truth. Someone, whoever, enablers of my offender, prove me to be a liar. Show one recording where I'm trying to stay with her in a relationship. Show one recording where I admit I lied on her about false charge abuse charges, or show any text message where I'm telling her I'm lying on her because she never hit my child. People, why can I show you text messages where she's bragging about telling the mother of an 8-month-old baby about slapping the shit out of a baby, using that against the father to make the father afraid to break up with her? People, I showed you 2 days worth of text message conversations, unedited, where this girl was doing this. People, stop, just stop it. Put this girl in jail. Cancel Francina Evans and expose the offenders like her brother, her friend, her mother, her corrupt pastor Victor Brown, or the racist bigot attorney of Staten Island, Michael McMahon, who continues to empower this girl because he himself is a racist who truly has an angle to destroy black men. People, I was a black man that was a victim. The Staten Island DA's office has never returned any reply or answered any of my domestic violence reports to this day. And I have a federally protected criminal domestic violence order of protection against Francina Evans. People, that is unheard of, except if you in Staten Island, you a black victim. But people, they're not going to do that to this black man and this victim. People, today on behalf of Operation Rock, and today on behalf of the people who don't have the strength and the voice to fight for themselves, I, Clayton, fight for myself. I was a victim who was falsely accused, falsely prosecuted, and falsely defamed and slandered by Staten Island's District Attorney's Office, who enabled Francina Evans. By Safe Horizon, who enabled Francina Evans. People, enable me to expose the corruption in those offices that are supposed to protect innocent victims, not enable offenders who they think are more marketable to help them get better donations. No, people, we're going to stop Safe Horizon and we're going to expose Staten Island. People, my war with Staten Island could be over if they did the right thing. The right thing is what Darren Albany said in that email, and it's to prosecute Francina Evans in the interest of fairness, justice, and equality. People, where is the fairness, justice, and equality for the black man sitting before you, who the head of criminal operations and criminal prosecution and professional development of the Staten Island District Attorney's Office admits lied on me and told me I would get justice? But yet, people, last week, Francina's at their National Crime Victims' Right Banquet, pretending to be a victim still, when the office exposed her to be a liar. See, people, that's the true corruption of racism and bigotry. But not on my watch, though. On behalf of Operation Rock, people, we're going to stop this. Join me, fight for the fight, people. Don't let racism, bigotry, corruption, and corruption win, people. Expose the corruptions like the enablers, like the pastor who is helping my ex-offender, Pastor Victor Brown, like the racist district attorney, Michael McMahon, or like Melissa Thomas, Bretton Evans, Matthew Evans, my offender's best friend and brother, and her mother and grandmother. People, look at the people who are helping her. A racist district attorney, a pastor whose sexual exploits are well known, and the brothers and mother and sister and grandmother of this girl. Come on, people. How can you not see that I'm being socially jumped by people who are lying on me to protect this girl? People, God is good, though. We're going to expose Francina Evans, and we're going to break the corruption that is on Staten Island. You are about to see the new face of domestic violence and advocacy on Staten Island, a man who can tell the truth, not a man who stands behind someone lying about things he never been through. People, I was arrested on Staten Island for something I never did. I was prosecuted for crimes that I never committed by a racist district attorney's office who refused to drop those charges against me just because I was a black man, and their agenda is to arrest, prosecute, and get felony convictions on every black or minority male that comes through that office. People, not me. If you are a minority in New York City, if you're a minority anywhere, people, stand with me to fight racism in communities like Staten Island. On behalf of Operation Rock and a mother who is truly about the community and love me, I, Clayton, take the mantle. I, Clayton, assume the torch. I, Clayton, decide to fight racism on Staten Island. Michael McMahon, bigots like Victor Brown, sexists like Mackenzie Upshaw, who use their gender identity to try to hit on women they're attracted to and lie to victims to get the victim arrested and the offender honored. Mackenzie Upshaw should be fired. People, on behalf of justice, help me expose the corruption in Staten Island's District Attorney's Office, in law enforcement, and the enablers in the community that empower sick, twisted victims like Francina Evans after they've been convicted multiple times. People, help me stop this. Thank you for listening. Have a